Hi everyone, this is Brendan from LemTask. Today I want to walk you through some of the most common mistakes that people make when using Flow. Flow is a very clean and simple task management tool, and that simplicity is actually one of its biggest strengths. But the same simplicity can also create problems if people expect to do things it was never designed for. So in this video, I want to walk you through some of the mistakes that people often make when using Flow, why those problems happen, and when people typically start looking for something more structured. One of the most common mistakes people make when using Flow is expecting it to behave like a full project management system. Flow is built around simplicity. It focuses on basic tasks and clear daily execution. Because of that, you won't find any of the advanced features that larger tools offer. For example, Flow does not focus heavily on things like complex hierarchies, automation systems, or deeply configurable workflows. People sometimes try to recreate those kind of systems inside Flow. They start building complicated structure lists and trying to force the tool into a workflow it wasn't designed for. And that usually creates frustration. The reality is that Flow works best when you keep the structure simple and use it exactly for what it was designed, which is lightweight task tracking. Another mistake that people make is trying to scale Flow too far. For individuals or very small teams, Flow works extremely well. You can create lists, you can, you can add tasks to those lists by clicking on it. But as your teams grow and your projects become more complex, the limits of this minimal task system starts to quite appear. For example, your teams might begin asking questions like who owns this task? Which project does this belong to? What stage is the work currently in? And even how does this task relate to the rest of the project? So, because Flow focuses on simplicity, it doesn't always provide deep answers to those questions. So, when teams try to manage larger workflows, they sometimes end up creating workarounds instead of using a system that's built for scale. Another common situation happens when users simply outgrow the tool. This usually happens gradually. At first, Flow works perfectly for tracking daily work, but over time, teams might begin managing more projects, more people, and more responsibilities. As that happens, people often start needing additional visibility. They want to see how the tasks connect to the actual projects. They want clearer ownership of work, and they want shared coordination across your team. At that point, the simplicity that originally made Flow attractive can feel limiting. This doesn't mean that Flow is a bad tool. It simply means it wasn't designed for a specific type of workflow. Once your work grows beyond that scope, you may need something with more structure. Right. So who typically needs something beyond Flow? There are a few cases. For example, growing teams that need shared visibility into work, agencies managing multiple projects at the same time, project teams coordinating tasks across different roles, or any environment where tasks are not just personal reminders, but part of a larger workflow. When work becomes collaborative and interconnected, teams often need tools that help organize tasks across projects and responsibilities. For context, this is how we do this in LemTask, which is the tool we use ourselves. LemTask still keeps task management clear and simple, but it introduces additional structure that helps teams organize the work more effectively. Tasks can be grouped within projects, responsibilities can be tracked more clearly, and teams can maintain visibility across everything that's happening. That extra structure helps teams scale their workflows without losing clarity. So, to recap, the most common mistakes that people make in Flow are that people expect advanced features that the tool was never designed to provide. They try to scale the system beyond what a simple task manager can support, and eventually some users outgrow the minimal structure that Flow offers. For personal task management and simple workflows, Flow can still be an excellent option. But as teams grow and work becomes more connected, people often start looking for systems that offer more structure and visibility. If you want to see this approach in full, LemTask is linked below.